What's up? It's Way Up with Angela Yee, and it's a Wealth Wednesday. So, of course, my partner Stacey Tisdale is here with me.
Happy Wealth Wednesdays. We are taking you way up and down the path to prosperity today.
Yes. Now, it's good to have you guys back.
Yes.
So, we've done Path to Prosperity previously, and it was amazing when you guys were on the Breakfast Club. But now we're doing Way Up with Angela Yee, and we have a challenge that we're going to be doing. But let's start talking about Path to Prosperity, and you guys actually coming together to form this.
Yeah, I mean, I think for us it was divinely aligned. Each of us had a mission to help people make, manage, and multiply money. And we just were in different lanes. And we realized that if we came together, it'd be more powerful, right? There's a lot of people out there that talk about financial literacy, generational wealth, things of that nature. But all it is information. Like people are getting information. But what about the application? Like how can you apply these, this information in order to like truly create generational wealth? And so, I talk about, with my banking background, I talk about multiple streams of income. Marvin, talks about insurance and how to, use insurance.
Yeah, he was schooling me.
Oh man, the game he drives in the storm
the
as the employed millionaire. So it was just synergy and teaching people how to implement these principles in order to build wealth.
The power of collaboration, we notice is powerful. We both were all individually successful.
Yes.
What makes us different is Ash was the CEO of a credit union. I've owned a financial firm for 17 years, so I've been doing this for a long time. Storm's been doing real estate for a long time. Before social media, before we were even on social media,
Facts.
before we were getting interviews, before any of this. So although we were successful individually, when we came together to help the people and we said, let's lower ourselves individually so that we can maximize ourselves as a group, the numbers that came in were just strong. The people that we began to help, we began to literally help thousands and thousands of people almost overnight just by joining together. So it was a powerful concept.
I think it's important to talk about your experience and credibility because there's a lot of people out there who are selling classes, are quote mentors, but they may not, what's the background? How do they have the experience to even be able to tell us what we need to do? What is their success rate looking like?
And we've really worked with a lot of work to bring attention to a lot of different groups, and we really vet them closely and really partner with very, very few of them. And this is just a shout out to what these gentlemen are and what they have accomplished and how they've helped thousands of people build millions of dollars with the 3 tiers of the path to prosperity. Tell us about those 3 tiers for our prosperous journeys.
And not crying tears, but
sometimes.
Yeah, definitely to touch on the background part. I started buying real estate. My first piece of real estate was in 1999. So that's way before any of the social media kick, and people see us now as like hitting a switch. But, it's taking my job, working that job, and understanding that the job is actually paying us not to come back to work. We just don't realize that. We think the job is paying you to keep paying bills, get charged up, and come back. When they're paying you to invest in yourself, find that thing, put it on repeat, because it's important to use your salary to go to the next level, because if the only way you can make money physically, what happens when you can't physically do the job no more?
So that mind shift is everything.
Yeah, it starts with the belief that transform it to the mind shift, that now you can implement that thing. So the pillars of what we have: make, multiply, and manage.
That's the 3 pillars?
Yeah, make,
multiply, and manage.
Make, multiply, manage.
I want to talk about your real estate, though, because right now is...
Of course you do.
But I also feel like the economy, people are really nervous to do anything right now. They're nervous about the stock market. They're nervous when they're thinking about insurance. They're nervous about real estate, interest rates right now, and just even like materials. A lot of people are having issues when they try to buy a home to flip.
Yes.
And finding that they're actually losing money in certain situations, right? So how has the real estate market been for you? Because sometimes people think that's such a sure thing, but it's not always a sure thing.
I look at it as this way, and I like a lot of people get in the space to think about, don't think about start losing money in the beginning, you'll make money later, not in real estate. Like a lot of us be like, oh, I'm going to buy this property. I'm going to, flip it. I'm going to find a tenant. Well, you're losing money in the process. I look at buying properties that are tenant occupied already, that are companies making money. Like look at it as a company. So if you know you're buying a property and it costs one amount, let's say $100,000, and you know the rent's gonna cover that mortgage, you're buying a business. If they never was late on making a payment for 2 years, why would they stop paying rent? You're buying a business. Now just get someone to manage the business, and you just go around and do what? Buy more businesses. And you can do this across the entire United States and still maintain working while you're buying more businesses. So when you're able to buy at a price now and you know the numbers work, look at when the interest rates goes down and now you can refi. It's going to be even a better deal. And if it's so much of a chaotic situation now in real estate, why is there still so many shortage of houses?
Right.
Why is there still so many people buying?
Inventory problem.
Why
Right.
there's still so it's portrayed to us. Housing is bad. Stocks are bad. Everything is bad. When the underlying story to me when I hear these things are, oh, you mean it's on sale?
And so think about this though, right? So Storm started investing in real estate in '99
with $8,000.
with $8,000, became a multi-millionaire while working at Verizon. Let's not go by that. And he's still investing in real estate while 2001 happened, 2008 happened, 2009 happened, the pandemic happened. So the good thing about the way he invests in real estate is the fact that he's investing in real estate, and he teaches this on our challenge as well. He's investing in real estate with income producing properties already. So it's good. Like if you want to do fix and flip, that's cool. If you want to do wholesaling, that's cool. But there's a specific niche of properties that you can buy that already, like you already know going in, it's going to make you money, right? And for me, you know, I started my career as a banker in 1999, actually, as well, right? I was a teller, personal banker, private banker, and a lot of things I realized that people focus a lot on is interest rate. Like, oh my God, the interest rates are high, right? But here's the secret. The secret is banks have to lend money. I don't care what the interest rates are. That is the way that banks make money. So I don't care what the economy is doing. They are going to lend money. And so what we've been doing is teaching people, how do you take that credit and how do you create wealth from that credit, right? So let's think about this real quick conceptually. If you go to a bank, the bank has to lend this money out. The bank has to give you this money and you get this money, and whatever the interest rate is, if you follow the methodology that Storm does, where you're buying income producing properties anyway, technically it really doesn't matter what the interest rate is, because your tenant is paying for that interest, right? And then you're taking that money, and you're not buying clothes with it. You're not doing nothing that's risky with it. You're actually getting into a business that's already cash flowing. So before you even sign on a dotted line to take out that credit, you know how much your note's gonna be. You know how much money you're gonna get. And then once you do that, you go to Marvin, and Marvin will teach you how to.
That's what I want to say.
Wait a second. First of all, you made a point there. If you're buying something that has a tenant in it,
Yes.
does that make it easier to get
100%.
a loan? Makes it easier to get a loan.
When you look at buying properties that, for example, I love to buy government programs, houses that are government funded, meaning Section 8, VA housing, because the government's never laid on rent. When I was buying Section 8 properties years ago, they was looking at me like a madman. Why are you buying Section 8 properties? COVID hit. Guess what? Government wasn't late on my rent.
Yeah.
Everybody has stories, and I said, this is why. And, Section 8 in certain areas of the country are very nice homes. People just need a little help. So I look at buying those properties because they were making money and the government was coming through.
Now, Marvin, let's see what does insurance have to do with all of this, and how can that help fund?
Thank you.
We're going back to
waiting for this alley-hoop.
We're going back to real estate. We got to bring in insurance.
We got to talk about this because this is the most critical thing when it comes to financial planning.
Absolutely.
So, Stacey and Angela, the reason why I talk about this is that our system is failing us. I've been a financial advisor for 17 years. Again, when I started in this particular business, I got into this business because my grandmother. See, my grandmother, she saved. She worked for a company for 35 years, saved in her 401k, did everything that we're taught for the average person to do. But she was afraid that she was going to become a burden on the family toward the end of her life. And that's exactly what happened, because before she passed away with cancer, unfortunately, the stock market crashed. She lost 50% of her money. She had no long-term care insurance. And I watched my grandmother run out of money and feel that she was that burden on the family. Wow. So I said, I can't let that happen. to anybody. So I came into the financial industry at a big Wall Street firm thinking that I was going to be the one to make a difference. And then I realized that the industry cared more about lining up their own dollars than they cared about actually making sure that the people got what they needed and got what they wanted. That's why people are following the system rules, saving in their 401k, working for a company, retiring at 65, living off of less than they earned when they were working, and they're still running out of money.
Yeah.
There was a statistic that I just read by New York Times that said people making over 6 figures, 48% of people making over 6 figures are still living paycheck to paycheck. And 70% are running out of money before they retire. So I was like, I got to do something different. So I left the big Wall Street firm and I started my financial firm with the emphasis on making sure that solution is done. So what I came across is that wealthy people were not doing the same thing that ordinary people were doing. They were not. They were not saving in 401ks, paying off their house early. What they were doing is they were leveraging. They were learning how to use tools such as life insurance. They were having this policy. They all had these policies. And they
Are
were
you talking
dumping
about
money
like
into it.
VUL policies? Because those are expensive.
Great question. No, not VUL. So there's different types of policies. You got the VULs.
That's, by the
which
way,
is
everybody,
variable.
that's variable universal life. They're really cool because when you put money in it, it kind of grows in the stock market,
Right.
and you can borrow against that, but they're a little pricey.
Well, the problem is that it's in the stock market. So it's a variable universal life, which means it varies, which means just like the 401k, you can make money and you can lose money, very expensive fees. And you also have term life, which a lot of people know about. Problem with term life is for a term, which means 10 years, 20 years, it expires. Then what? You have no more life insurance.
Right.
Term is okay when you're super young and you're early in the game. Problem is that maybe you got to get approved again. What if your health goes bad? You don't have life insurance. So permanent policies, VUL is one that I don't recommend, but also the two that I do recommend will be whole life or index universal life. But it has to be properly structured the right way, because if not, you're still paying the expensive fees and you're not building up a cash value. So when you're building up this cash value, whole life is going to allow you to get a fixed rate of return and borrow against it within 30 days, and your money continues to grow as if you never touched it. Index universal life is going to allow you to grow it faster because you can actually earn up to 10 or 12% per year, but you can't borrow against it as fast. So you have to pick your poison on what you want to do. And the rich people, what they used to do, they dump money into these policies, they borrowed against it, then the policy continued to grow as if they never touched it. So they were making money off the same dollar multiple times.
Yeah, we had a great conversation about this off the record about what I need to do. He's going to take a look at my insurance.
Isn't it exciting, though, you're going to actually teach people how to do this on the wayupprosperity.com challenge? Everybody just sign up for that, wayupprosperity.com.
That challenge
and
is going to be amazing.
You're going to teach people how to do that.
Right.
Now, I want to ask you guys some things that have been happening on the YT. Okay, for instance, people were weighing in on Gabrielle Union and Dwayne Wade. I'm sure you saw this story.
Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah.
Where she said
She's
that
going there.
she pays 50% of the bills, and people were furious. They're like, Dwayne Wade's made $200 million, and why are you doing that? And she's like, look, this is what works in my household. They have other families on both ends that they take care of. Of course, he's offered to handle everything. What are your thoughts on 50-50 in the household?
We got
Sounds like a
different opinions on it,
mindset
too.
question,
Yeah,
Ash. This sounds like a
talked about this
mindset
before.
question.
Yeah, we talked about this. So I'll go first because I don't believe in that. I believe in one income. Look, I believe in one income households. I believe that the man should take care of everything.
We're going to fight.
Yeah, I believe in that. But I also believe that financially the family should be on the same page, where collectively there should be financial goals, and the money that's coming into the household should be feeding the financial goals, right? So if the man is taking care of everything and and there's still money coming into the household, doesn't mean that if the woman makes money that, she could do whatever she wants with the money. It's like, now the rest of that money, let's invest it. Let's kind of come together and figure out how we're going to grow, right? How we're going to make more money, how we're going to manage that money, how we're going to multiply that money. And then that's how we stay on the same page as it relates to finances. I think that, women, again, don't hate me, but I think women don't have to work if they don't want to in a committed relationship.
Keep this in mind in your answers and your
Yes.
thinking. A good friend of ours, Cassandra Cummings, who's head of Stocks and Stiletto Society, we had this whole conversation. she pointed out, and I can tell you, a financially independent woman can conduct themselves differently in a relationship. When you take that financial piece out, the relationship is completely different.
I agree. Yeah.
And it's a freedom, it's a healthier relationship, and I'll just keep that in mind.
And let's just say she's not working, right? And like you said, she doesn't have to. Does that mean she's entitled to half if things shouldn't work out?
Yeah, and so that's the thing, right? So I don't think that she should be entitled to half if she's not contributing to the total improvement of that household, right? So it's like this, right? It's like if the guy is bringing in all of the income, let's just say for instance, and she doesn't work, but she's taking care of the kid. Like she's contributing, a lot to the stability of that household. Then absolutely she should get half, right?
Okay.
If there's another arrangement where she's working or whatever the case may be, I just think it's all individual. But again, I think that there should be a collective. Collectively, they should be working together. So it's not like I make all the money, so I have the power. No. I'm working and I'm taking care of everything, but that's something that we agreed on. That's something that as a couple we said, all right, this is what we're going to do. We're going to rely on this one income to take care of the basic necessities. And now all of the other things, now we come together and figure out how do we make those flourish as a couple.
That's cute.
Yeah.
That's cute.
Yeah,
Good,
it's
Mom.
Cute is the word.
So here's the deal. I do believe in the man being the provider in a household, and I do believe that the man, in my opinion, should, especially in a married relationship,
Why
that
keep
the
looking
man
at me?
because Storm got a different opinion about this. So I do believe that, but I also feel like whatever you should, if a man, you should get with a woman that takes whatever you contribute to it to multiply it. If all she's doing is just taking the money and just consuming, and I'm just basically paying you an allowance, then that can actually be sometimes a little bit of a burden, right? But if I'm giving, let's say if I'm giving you 10,000, 20,000, but you taking some of that money and you starting something to the side, maybe you investing in some real estate. Like if we don't ever work out, take the money to make sure you made yourself better off than before you got into the relationship.
But are you giving the money, or is it in a bank account that we have access to also?
So 3 different accounts, right? So I believe that you should have your own account, but then a shared account, right? Because if you're buying me something for Christmas, I don't want to have to see it coming out of the account if we got everything together. You got to have some sort of independence. But at the same time, it's just going to be better for you if you learn how to manage your own account, and then we got our account together to share responsibility.
It's different. I think it was Wendy Williams asked her audience, the women in her audience, if they each got $5 million, would they stay in their marriage?
Ooh, that's a good question.
And none of them would.
Yeah. Wow.
It was
But you know what
none
happens?
of them
Tell
would.
you. But you know
None
what-
of
but
them.
you
A
know
lot
what-
of people
Wow.
stay in
I said
unhealthy
that on our
relationships.
last
That's
one.
what
Right.
Cassandra was talking about.
That's a
If you
great
take
question.
money out of the equation,
Yeah.
you have a relationship
But I
that's
think
standing
that
on its
happens
own
when
two
the,
feet.
when the man is using the money as a control mechanism, and that's not what I'm saying.
It's not about control, but not intentionally.
Right.
But if someone's paying the bills,
Yeah.
they do have an element of control. You are not controlled. We don't talk about control. You are
That's
dependent
true.
on them.
Right.
That in a way you could develop
but
a healthy
let's
relationship.
imagine this, though.
We
Let's-
are going so off track. Go ahead.
Yeah.
We
But
are.
What if she makes more than you?
Right, and that's the thing, right? So I'm saying that it goes into Storm. It goes
Storm got something to
Okay,
say.
it's Storm's
Hold on.
turn. Storm's turn.
Let me take a
Storm's
second
turn.
before
next?
Storm go to say
You
that
started something.
Yes.
you starting something. Before we get too far off track, we're gonna get to this.
Go on,
but
sir. Go on,
we,
sir.
we got to tell you all that we are about to show you how to make, multiply, and manage your money.
Yeah, we'll
and
get back to
way
that in
up
just a
pros-
minute.
Hold on.
All right, Storm. Storm.
Wayupprosperity.com. You got to go there.
Wait.
Wayupprosperity.com.
Storm, the mic is yours.
This isn't the 1960s, 1970s when one person could manage a household where he can go to work, she can stay home, raise all the children. Now, this is for people who don't have a lot of money. You need to know who you're investing in as a person and what are they bringing to the table. Are you trying to grow together, or she's staying home while you build something? But to inherit another person, which to me, if they don't have anything going on, you're inheriting debt. You need to inherit an understanding. You need to inherit someone who's willing to build with you and not take away from you.
Yep.
and not who's willing to sit there and say, you go do everything, and if something falls apart, I'm going to leave because you made me relying on what you were doing, right? So if you didn't ask the important questions, this is for guys who are not making a lot of money. We tend to get caught up in the fact that she looks so pretty that my obligation is to do. But when you start doing and you can't do anymore, will she be there because you came in doing? Now, for men that have money, I believe a man who's had money, he has other situations. He may have an ex-wife. He may have children. He might have alimony. If she has money, she should say to herself, what are we doing as a group? It's too much love and not enough business that equates to better loving. So when you put the business aspect in front, now you're able to build. I want somebody who could say, me and you will take a business and build a corporation. Mm-hmm. Somebody has to be the president. Somebody got to be the vice president. And long as she knows her role as vice president, because there's certain things as a president I can't do.
Vice president.
Let me implement just a little bit more because I don't want that to sound too misogynistic.
I'm not challenging you, and I'm just saying the reality is that 70% of all the households in the United States, women are the primary breadwinners now.
Yes.
And the black
I'm just
community.
Speaking about if mine.
Yeah. It's 70%. And on top of that, they still do 90% of the household chores and stuff. Right. So we'll get another we're going off track.
And this is why it's important, right? To get around folks like us that teach you how to make, manage, and multiply money, right? Mm-hmm. Because I think in our community, specifically in the black community, we are taught that we need to work hard for money, when the truth is money needs to work hard for us.
Yeah.
And so when we get rid of that dynamic of us working hard for money, it doesn't matter who's bringing in the money, because in the beginning of the relationship, yes, if the woman's making the money, if the man's making the money, whatever, we're going to have to work for it. But if you have the right system in place and you create these assets where now that money becomes an asset and it starts making money for you, now all you're doing is you're managing that money together. Yeah. It's not about, hey, he makes more money. No, like that's wrong, actually. The right way is that the money should be making more money than than the woman
together,
in the
yeah.
So piggybacking of what Ash is saying, because we see this all the time. People think they got to work hard. They got to work just to get paid. When really we want to show people how to work, get paid, and earn a passive income. And I believe that it's easier if you 10x your money than it is to just double and 2x your money. Mm-hmm. It's actually easier to 10x your money. So think about this. If you were working linear, if you're making $50,000, then you're trying to grow that money to $100,000, right? Well, you're going to have to work harder. You're going to have to get a promotion. You're going to have to get raises. You're going to have to impress a lot of people and do the same thing and do it better. But if you're 10xing your money, you can't do that just by doing. You have to do that by thinking. You have to do that by saying, who can I hire? Who can I bring in? What systems do I have to put in place? Do I have to acquire another business? Do I have to get a bigger team? What do I have to do? And when you do that, the crazy thing about that, you'll make 10x more, but you'll also work 10x less. And that's what we want to show people how to do, how to make life easier.
And you do. Yeah. To give this a little bit of direction, talk about the freedom score. Because we're talking about all of these different ways to make money. And if I'm listening to this, I'm hearing them, I'm trying to write all them down. Okay, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do this. Then we have to full stop. What am I trying to accomplish? And then build that plan to get there. So talk about the freedom score and the importance of doing what you're saying to do to build a plan to get there.
Yeah, for my, the freedom score is how much money does it take for you to become free? Was that free from your 9 to 5, free from that thing that's stopping you from becoming a success? If you know you make $50,000 a year, now if you take away the fact that you probably spending this much money on car payments, this much money on childcare, this much money on all the things that is taking you to go to that job, maybe it only takes you $35,000. How do you make $35,000? Like, for example, when I bought my first property and that property was making me, I took the $8,000 and made $6,000. I said, okay, you mean to tell me if I'm making $6,000 a year, I just need 8 more properties. So now I knew $8,000, I wouldn't need that money. So I would take $100 a week, $5,200 in my tax return, average of $3,000. That was only 6 more properties, but that was a plan. But it actually cutting my time in half because every year I bought a property, I left the job in 5 years. So you just need to figure out how much money you're making, what is the thing to supplement that salary. That freedom score now becomes that number. It only took me this many properties. 8 properties, but I ended up owning 30 because I learned how to partner with people to make my money go further. We have to start thinking about group economics in a different way.
It's a goal. Yeah.
Stop thinking that you have to do it yourself.
Yeah.
If you had $20,000 and you know you could buy $100,000 property, you got 20, 20, 20. Okay, we could have one property apiece, but if we bought together, that's 3 properties together. Why is that more important? Because now we're doing taxes for 3 different properties. Yeah. We have properties across the country that's growing equity 3 different times. Now we're writing off different deductions at a different level. We need to understand the power of the LLCs. Being power of having a home office, writing off your rent, light, gas, mortgage, taking trips to go see your properties. We will not start up creating LLCs until we got something running, so we're coming out of pocket. But if you started up the LLC and say, I want to start my business, while you're not making money, you can still write off the losses.
Yeah.
And starting your LLC the right way, right? Because Storm talks about a lot, you know, your job being your first business partner. The bank is your business partner as well. And that's why we, you know, call this challenge the Credit to Wealth, because not only can you use your job, but you can use other people's money to now get into that, right? So you know your freedom score now, and now you know how much money you need in order to become free. Now, why not set up your business the right way? And we talk about that on our challenge, because a lot of people set up their business the wrong way. Then they walk into a bank, right? And this is secrets, confessions of a former banker. Mm-hmm. They set up their they set up their businesses the wrong way. They walk into a bank and they say, "Hey, I want to take out this. I want a loan." The bank says, "Nah, we can't give you this loan." Now all of a sudden we have this false narrative that, oh, the bank will give us school loans and not business loans. No, the bank wants to give you a business loan, but they want to give the business loan to the right type of business. So you have to set up your business the right way. And if you set up your business the right way, you can literally walk a brand new LLC could walk into a bank, get between $10,000 to $50,000 in credit, and now you could use that money. Like Storm just said, $8,000 it took for him to make $6,000, right? Mm-hmm. And so now if you do the math and you look at $50,000 in credit, and you add that up, you're so much closer to that freedom score by leveraging your job as your first business partner and the bank and using other people's money.
Yeah, the reason why people don't get started is they say, well, I don't have the money to get started. I don't have the money to build my business. And on wayupprosperity.com, what we're doing is Credit to Wealth Challenge, because we talked to a lender not too long ago, and he said that there is literally millions of dollars, like hundreds of millions of dollars that's sitting there that they can't give away, that they want to give away this money, but people don't know how to fill out applications.
Oh, God, terrible.
People don't know how to fill out a simple application, and they said they don't fill it out the right way, or they don't fill it out at all because they think they can't get the money. He's like, we're literally trying to get his money away, like millions of dollars. I just applied for $2 million of funding for my business the other day. And there are people, even like you said, with new LLCs that can get this money. So we got to show you how to get the money, how to get at least $200,000 in funding, so that we can teach you how to actually do the real estate, how we can teach you how to do what Ash teaches, how to become an author, how to make 15 different streams of income. But first, you got to get the money first. And that's what we're starting with, the foundation at wayupprosperity.com.
Yeah.
And the great thing about this challenge, because I know, you know, we're giving a lot of information here, right? And I know people are like, oh my God,
it's a lot.
It's a lot.
It's a lot.
That's why, you know, we do, you know, these 5-day master classes where, you know, if you do platinum or VIP, you could literally sit with us and ask your specific question, and we could tell you specifically how to do things. And then, right, so technically that's 10 hours that you can really sit, and we'll give you the whole game, nothing but the game to help you grind, get to that space where you could like start really making, managing, multiply money, access the millions of dollars that banks have and just sitting there, right? Because think about this for a second. It's by design. So people don't understand the reason why. So during COVID, the bank was printing money out, right? I mean, the government was printing money. So the money supply was way up, pun intended, right? The money supply was so up. and everybody had access to money. So now inflation went up because people are buying stuff. So the government said, whoa, hold on. It's getting out of hand. So what are we going to do? We're going to raise interest rates to a place where we scare people from borrowing, right? So now the money supply now starts to shrink. Nobody's really spending as much, right? So what does that mean? The banks are, like Marvin said, the banks are sitting with this money, and they're like, we got to get this money out. And so it's the people who are courageous enough, who understand the game, who say, you know what? Yeah, the interest rates are up, but the banks are looking to give us this money. Let me not focus on interest rate. Let me focus on getting income producing assets, right? Insurance, real estate, books. Let me get these income producing assets that's going to pay for this, and then now you're in this race, and now you're building wealth past this environment. So definitely sign up for the 5-day masterclass.
And also don't forget to mention, this is all virtual.
Yes.
So you don't have to go anywhere. Last time we did this challenge, we had TD Jakes. I
was going to say, you got lots of special guests. You had Magic Johnson. Who are some of the A-Rod.
Shaq stopped by, and of course you got Marvin Mitchell, Ash Cash, and Storm Leroy,
and this time Team Wealth Wednesdays. Partnerships.
It's about to be crazy. And you're about to learn some different plays with the credit, on how you can build up your credit too. We're gonna talk about that too on it. It's gonna be crazy. So the way it's gonna work is when you do VIP. So VIP will actually give you the ability to be in a room with us, and basically it's a Zoom room. And we're going to lay it down for you. You're going to be able to have personal questions when you do platinum. So there's going to be platinum. There's going to be VIP. Or if you just want to watch it and you want to be a spectator, you could just be general. And that's super, super inexpensive. It's like $97. You could do general. We want you to do VIP or platinum, but you can do general, and you'll be able to see everything that's going on. We are giving you the plays. We're not holding anything back. Right? We're holding nothing back.
Yeah. We won't either.
And that's why I like the whole idea of partnership. And, back to what Storm was saying earlier, it is important when you do partner with people, not feeling like you have to do it alone, but I think it's also really important that people have different skills that they bring to the table when you do different partnerships.
Yeah, 100%.
So we can't all do the same thing. So just seeing what I do, what Stacey does, and then what you guys do, the different skills and abilities that you bring to the table for people, I think that's really important for people to understand too. We can't all do marketing. We can't all, we
tend to do that a lot. We tend to attract and want to work with people who are like us.
Yeah.
You need to partner with people who are exactly other than you.
Because they complement what you don't have.
Complement what you don't have. They help the business grow. That's the vice president. They do the things you don't want to do.
Oh, you want to go back to this?
No, I'm not. It just popped in my brain when I said that. You know what I mean?
You're doing good.
No, I'm just saying that's what it is.
Good.
But that just popped in my brain. But staying in line with this challenge, because this is one of the most important things. We also want to tell you guys about building a legacy within the things we teaching. We've all been teaching how to get Angela. Stop. We've all been teaching how to make. Right? We've been observing.
Did you say how to mate?
Make.
Oh, look, her mind is stuck.
He's still stuck in this vice president challenge.
Let me pull you how to make.
Sorry.
How to make.
You want to learn how to be the vice president of your
observation is
household.
over. It's time for execution. Observation was yesterday. Execution is today. That's what we need to do. Get into it and to build your legacy. Once we start thinking, stop being selfish and stuff. Oh, everybody wants to build generational wealth until you actually get money and looking at it. You start going, what can I get? What can I do?
Right.
But there comes a number where you made enough for yourself. How you going to leave it to your legacy?
And you don't want your money just sitting in the bank either. Like you said, the money's got to work. And I think we've seen that right now, things that we thought would never happen with banks collapsing and people talking about not being able to access the money that they have in the bank and having limits, and who knows what's going to happen.
Savers are losing in this current economy.
100%.
Like, there's a debtor, a saver, a wealth creator. The debtor, they're used to just being paycheck to paycheck, being in debt. But the saver was winning yesterday. Now the saver is in a position where when they're spending that money, they're not getting it back, and they're not even getting enough money off the interest from the bank to actually make a living off of it. So you got to be a wealth creator. You got to make your money work for you 2 to 3 times off the same dollar.
Very quickly. I know we're running out of time. Quickly take us to church on making our dollar work 5 times.
Okay, I'm giving you the play. We talked about the life insurance, how you can actually put the money to the life insurance, grow it tax-free and tax-deferred. The great thing about that is that when you borrow money from that policy, you don't have to pay it back. I want you to pay it back, but you don't have to, because if you don't, it's subtracted from your death benefit, which means if I have a $100,000 cash value, that's money in cash in the policy, I probably got like a $500,000 death benefit. So if I don't pay it back, it's subtracted from that plus interest when I die. So knowing that, that money will continue to grow. So if I know that, I better borrow against it, or else if I don't use it, I lose it, right? So I can borrow, let's say I have $100,000. I can borrow $30,000. I can buy a real estate property that Storm teaches, right? Now I'm making money off the life insurance, tax-free. They're not taxing me on it. Tax deferred. They can't sue me on it. It's credit approved. I don't have to get a credit score for it. They're not reporting me if I don't pay it back. Now when I'm making it's crazy. Now I'm making money on the real estate, right? That's 2 times off the same dollar. But the biggest play, what I learned a few years ago, is that if you have credit, and we're teaching you this on the challenge, you can actually buy the property with the credit. We teach you how to turn the credit to cash. You get points from the credit card, and then you pay off the credit card with the insurance policy. So you're making money off the insurance policy. You got all of your points from the credit card, and you got money from the real estate property. Once you build up that real estate property, you do a home equity line of credit. You get the equity from that. You buy another property. Now you're making money 4 times off the same dollar. And when you learn about trust, and when you learn how to structure your trust and irrevocable life insurance trust, now you get to deduct all of that money from your taxes. Now you get tax savings 1 time. You get the credit cards 2 times. You get the insurance policy 3 times. Now you got 2 properties. That's 5 times off the same dollar. And we're teaching you all of this in the challenge. All you have to do is go to wayupprosperity.com and get your ticket.
We're going to leave it at
I love
that.
how Ash Cash acts like this is his first time hearing it.
right. You heard this 100 times. If you don't have nobody in your corner just cheering for you no matter what, you need some new friends.
Well, thank you guys so much.
You
It
so
is a
much.
pleasure. Wayupprosperity.com. Make sure you guys sign up. I'm also always still a student, so I appreciate it.
Well,
Wayupprosperity.com.
Wayupprosperity.com, June 5th through 9th, but sign up right now. You can change your financial life right now.